Hello and welcome to this video where we will be introducing you to the for loop in C#. The for loop is a means of controlling the number of iterations that are carried out in a cyclic loop operation. In other words, the number of times that a group of statements will be executed. You can see here I've given a very general description of the for loop and its expressions. Now, following the for keyword, you can see there are a pair of brackets, and within the brackets are expression 1, 2 and 3. Note the semicolon is indicating that these are statements in their own right. The compound brackets that follow the for set of expressions are those that would be carried out while the loop conditions are true. So what are these expressions? Well, expression 1 is the start condition, usually initializing the loop counter. For instance, counter equals 1. Expression 2, this is an evaluation of the counter against some value. So here, for instance, we're saying keep iterating, keep looping while the counter is less than 10. Expression 3 actually allows us to increase. In this case, it can also allow you to decrease the value of the counter. And here I'm saying counter plus plus. Well, let's move on and look at the test conditions that we have available to begin with. These are the relational operators. And you can see here that our counter in the first row is being evaluated against the value of x. Does counter equal x? If it does, then the loop will terminate. Is the counter not equal to x? Is the counter less than x, greater than x, less than equal to x, or greater than equal to x? Once the condition is true, the loop will terminate. Now you saw that we added 1 to our value for the counter. And we did this by saying counter plus plus, and these are the unary operators that we use. There are two examples here for adding and subtracting. The difference between them is that plus plus counter will add 1 to the counter before it's used, whereas counter plus plus will add 1 to the counter after it's been used. And you can see here I've got in the middle column the effect of what that is actually doing. Okay, so let's move on to an actual example. Okay, let's try out a code for a for loop. I'm going to start a new project. It will be a console application, and I'll just call this my for loop. Destination's OK. We can click OK for that. And here we see that the C# default code has been produced for us. And I'm simply going to paste some code in that I prepared. And you can see here that I've declared counter as an integer, and then in the for construct I've set counter to 0. I then test counter against a value of 10. It has to be less than 10. And finally I'm adding 1 by counter plus plus to the value of counter. And in console.writeLine here you can see I've got my string in quotes, counter equals, then plus, that's concatenating the value of counter to it. And I have a console.readLine to hold the test screen open. Notice I'm not using compound brackets, and that's because I only have one statement following the for. So let's build this and see what happens. That's good, successful, no errors, and run. And here's our test screen, and the counter has run from 0 to 9. As soon as it reached 10, it was true, therefore the loop was stopped. Just close this down. Well, I think that puts you in a good position now to actually increase the test value, change the test value. Why not try starting with a large value of counter and count downward? Let us know how you get on. This is C# Go saying, why not have a go? Thank you.